So,
The important thing is to get the concepts, if you didn't get some of the concepts, to get those down.
yeah.
Okay? The other stuff is just a little slowing down and checking your work.
Yeah.
Okay? All right?
All right. So, we have number 4 is 3/5 is less than 3/8. So we're going to figure this out. And the way you did it was you drew a rectangle and we'll draw another rectangle. And we're going to divide this one into 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to divide this one into 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to fill in 3 and we're going to see which one is bigger of the ones that we filled in. So is 3/5 bigger or is 3/8 bigger? That's
3 this is bigger.
okay, so the arrow should be like this, and it's like this. So this one is not correct. For number 5, there are 8 students in an art class. So we're going to write down 8 like you did, and they use 3/4 of a bottle of paint. So we know that this denominator is 1. When you have a whole number, we put it over the denominator of 1, and then we multiply. And you did that. So you did 8 times 3 is 24, and then 4 times nothing, or 4 times, if you put a 1 there, it might help you out. But you got the right answer. And then,
I wrote it down right.
yep. So that one you knew how to do. So let's consider that a success. Now we know that you have to slow down a little bit and mark the right answer. That's okay. Now we know. We learned something about your testing style. You have to slow it down and make sure you have the right answer. So if you have a 13 here, you need to just check to make sure this is a 13. Okay, number 2, it looks like she couldn't tell where the answer was. Is this the one that you corrected with her and you got it correct?
That's the one I corrected with her and I got it right. And
Okay.
that's the one that she was supposed to mark, but she didn't grade my test today because there was too many people.
Okay, so awesome. So you got that. She just wasn't sure. So part of what we need to remember about Peter's test taking is to check his answers, do the complete process of the work, and then for this, you have to make it clear on what your answer is. I know this is a little bit hard to see, so let me put this a little lighter. Okay, so we're good on that one.
Now it's that I can't see it.
Okay, it's okay. You have it in front of you, or I'll just write down the problem. So we have, the next one is 5 1/4 is a mixed number, and they want you to change it to an improper fraction. So you did 5 times 4 plus 1, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. And the step 2 is to put it all over the same denominator. That's what you missed. That's all. So now we know that you have to complete the tasks. Make sure that the answer is complete. Okay, did you get 7 wrong or right?
That's right.
Okay. And then 8. So it says show your work and write your answer in the space below. You got that one correct.
And then I got part A and part B are the same question.
Uh-huh.
And then, this one should be right too, because she let me, it shouldn't be right, but she gave me another chance, and then she didn't grade my test, so that should be right too.
Okay, so let's see what you did. So Riley mixed 3/5 of orange juice and 4/5, okay, to make a fruit punch. She wants to fill a 1-liter bottle with fruit punch. Does she have enough? So what she wanted you to do was say 7/5, which if we turn that into a mixed number is 1 2/5. She needs to fill a 1-liter bottle. Does she have enough? So what she wanted you to say was, yes, she has enough to fill a 1-liter bottle. And yeah, that's what you said. Then how much would she have left?
She'd have 2 7 left.
And where did you get 2/7? So our denominator is 5ths. So what you're going to do is you're going to write 7/5 minus 5/5. You did 7/5 minus 5/7. So 7/5 is what we have here, and then we would minus 1 whole, which is 5/5. Or you could do this. I have enough to fill 1 bottle. This is what's left. So 2/5 of a liter is left. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it sounded like you got a lot of the concepts. We just have to follow through with the complete answer. Okay, Brayla skateboarded 3 2/5. So we're going to write 3 2/5 blocks to school.
Wait, this is...
That's number 9.
He said I got close.
Mia walks 2 3/5. So I'm going to label all of this so that I keep everything straight. This is blocks and this is blocks. And the first person is Brayla. And the second person is Mia. Okay, that's the information we have so far. Lucy, now we have another person, bikes 5 1/5 more than Mia. So we have to look, what is the question asking? How far in total does Lucy bike to school? All right, so we know Lucy biked 5 1/5 more than this person right here. So doesn't it make sense that we take Mia's score and we add it to Lucy's, because she biked the same distance here plus 5 1/5 more than Mia. Does that make sense to you? Okay, so 3/5 plus 1/5 is what?
1/5 plus 1/5 is 4/5.
And then what is 2 plus 5?
2 plus 5 is 7.
And then what is our label for our answer?
Lucy biked to school 10 and... Wait, is 10 and 1/5 available? No,
So the answer is right here. We just did it right here.
7 4/5 blocks.
Yep. So you did 5 plus 5 1/5. So I'm not sure where you got the 5, but do you see we have to look at what Mia did because it says 5 1/5 more than Mia. If Mia did 2 3/5 and Lucy did 5 1/5 more, we add those two together.
Yeah.
5. So you did 3. Okay, so I see what you did. You did, Brayla was 3 2/5, and Mia, so you did that, and then you added the 5 5/5 to the 5. So you did what all of them, I don't know if it's the right answer, but you did what all of them biked together. So let's see if you just added all of them together. Yeah, that's what you did. 6/5. It's 11 and 1/5, but yeah, that's you said this plus this plus this instead of this plus this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So next time we know that what we have to do is say, we have to look carefully on what two numbers to add. If they say in all, then you would add all of them together.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're saying that that was chapter 3 test. So
That was chapter 2 test. We only have 2 tests.
yeah, it says chapter 3. So what, do you have any questions on anything else that you've done for chapter 3?
No, I don't know.
Okay, let me get to chapter 4 and see what you guys are doing in 4.
I think
Okay.
Bisseville, I think decimals is easier than fractions to me.
Yeah. Okay, so
I think why can't we do decimals first and then fractions after?
yeah, but it's okay. Now you're on decimals. So, okay. So we have. What were
Can I
you?
go to the bathroom real quick because I was in a rush?
Yeah.
I got home 5 minutes after my mom did.
Yeah.
We had the hospital after.
Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to start teaching. So we have a box, and it is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you have a box that looks like this, it is going to be a denominator of 10. So the numerator tells how many are shaded in. So this is the shaded part. And the denominator tells the total. That's a fraction, right? So say they fill in 2, that would be 2/10. To make this into a decimal, here's a decimal point. This is the tenths place right here. Then we have the hundredths place right here. So if you have a total of 10, that means your number has to end on the tenths place. So the total is 10. The numerator tells you what number to put in here. So we have our decimal point right here. Our numerator is 2, so that's what goes here. And it has to end on the tenths place. If you do your decimals that way every single time and follow those exact steps, you will get it correct. If you take a shortcut or try something different, then I don't know what will happen, but that's what that's how decimals and fractions are related. So now we're going to do the same tenths. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I know my denominator is going to be 10. And this time I'm going to fill in 4. My numerator tells me how many sections are filled in. And my denominator tells me how many total pieces the shape is divided into. So I'm going to look at my graph that I just did here, and I have a decimal place right here. I have the tenths place right here, and I have the hundredths place right here. I know because my denominator is a 10 that my answer has to end on the tenths. The number that I fill in right here is what the numerator is. So my numerator is 4. I put a 4 here. The answer is 0.4. If I have a hundredths, it's going to be the same box, but instead of having just 10, it's going to have 10 this way, and it's going to have 10 this way. And the same exact thing applies. Now I know that my denominator is going to be 100 because there's 100 total squares. If I fill in 10 of these, or one row, that is 10 over 100. 10 of these squares, these little squares, are filled in, and the total number is 100. I'm going to make my little graph again. I have tenths and I have hundredths. I'm going to put my decimal right here, and my answer has to end. I'm going to make it a little easier. So I'm going to do 12, so that this is 12. My answer has to end on the hundredths place because my denominator is 100 and my numerator is 12. So I'm going to put a 1 right here, and I'm going to put a 2 right here. Then I'm going to check. Does my answer end in the hundredths place? Yes. Is my numerator 12? Yes. Does that kind of make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. Same thing if we had 10 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now I have 10. Sometimes I'm a little short. I just make an extra box. All right, this time I'm going to fill in 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 3. So if I follow all of my steps, I know that my numerator is going to be 43. That's the total number of shaded boxes. And it's going to be over 100 total little boxes. So I'm going to follow my steps. Decimal place, tenths and hundredths. I'm going to put my decimal right here. My answer has to end on the hundredths place, and my numerator is 43. So I'm going to do a 4 and a 3, and I'm going to check to make sure, did my answer end in the hundredths place? So did I do it correctly?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so that's what a decimal means in relation to a fraction. And while you're starting out, I would do exactly the steps that I just took. So I'm going to give you a little quiz. I have a box right here, and it is this one. So the first question I ask is, what is my denominator? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what do you think my denominator would be for this shape?
10.
Okay, and why is it 10?
Because there's 10 boxes.
Yes, and that's the total. That's what my denominator is. So
And
I'm going to write a 10 on the bottom, and then I'm going to fill in a certain number of these, and that's going to be my numerator. So what would my numerator be for this example?
6.
That's it. Now to change it into a decimal, I'm going to make my tenths and my hundredths column just until I get used to things. And I need my answer to end on the tenths, and I need the number to be the numerator. So what would I do next?
Then you would put the 6 and the tenths and the tenths and the hundreds.
So all I do is take my numerator and I put it right here. That's it. It has to end on the tenths with the numerator is the number, and then the 10 is telling me where my answer ends.
Yes.
So Let me give you an example of something where we'd have to do something a little differently. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to do 10 across. So what is my denominator going to be?
The denominator is how many? 10? Yeah.
How do I figure out what my denominator is?
You count the first lines you make. The lines are 1, 2. It's yeah, it's 10.
Okay. So how many total boxes are there here?
It's like a 10 by 10. There's 10 on the side, 10 on the
So
top, 10 on
what is 10 times 10?
100.
So what would my denominator be?
100.
Yeah. So my denominator is 100, and I'm going to fill in 3 of these. What is my numerator?
3.
Okay. Now, if I follow my steps and I make my tenths and hundredths column, I know that my number has to be 3 and my answer has to end on the hundredths. So if I wrote this and I did 0.3, that is not correct because this is the tenths and I need it to be on the hundredths. So what I need to do, since my numerator is only 1 digit and it has to end here, well, that's not right. 0.03. So I have to fill it in with a placeholder of 0.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to change it to, we're going to do this. What would I do to figure out this new problem?
You would do how many are in the thing, so that's 10, and then there's 10 and 9 in one row, 9 colored in one row, so it would be 9 tenths.
So we're looking at the total in the whole entire box.
Oh, 100 ninths, I mean.
So 100, and then what is my numerator?
9.
Okay.
9.
And then what would I put as my decimal?
You do.
What is my number going to be? And then where does it have to end? Those are the 2 questions that you have to ask yourself. What is the number? So the number is 9.
Yeah, the 9 goes in where the T is.
Okay, so if I did that, would my answer end in the hundredths place?
Yeah.
So this is the hundredths place right here?
Oh, no, that's...
Okay, so I know that my answer has...
that's the hundredths place.
This is the hundredths place, yeah. So what... I can't just have a blank here, 0.09. So what do I have to do right here? I need a placeholder and I put a 0 right here. If you do that process every single time, you're looking at a graph and changing it to a decimal. If you follow those steps, you will get it right 100% of the time. So they might give you a decimal like this and ask you what place the 5 is in. So we know already, because we've just been talking about it, that this is the tenths place because the number directly after the decimal is the tenths, and then it goes hundredths. Now, when you're talking about this number right here, this is just a plain old 23 right here. So what place is the 3 in?
That's in the hundred.
So if you see the number 23, what is the 3 in?
It's in the tens.
Ones. This is a whole number, right? These are decimals, but this is a whole number. Anything that comes before the decimal is just like a plain 23. So you can cover up that and go, what place is the 3 in the number 23? It's in the ones. And then what place is the 2 in the number 23?
Tens.
Yeah, and it's so as a decimal, it's tenths, but on this side of the decimal, where we're talking about a whole number of 23, it's now just tens. So after the decimal, it's tenths and hundredths with the th on the end of it. And before the decimal, it's ones, then tens, then hundreds. So that is super important to understand. Anything that comes on this side of the decimal is a whole number, like the number 5 or 17 or 26. Anything that comes after there's no such thing as the ones column. It starts at tenths and then it goes hundredths. And then this is just our normal stuff we've been doing since 2nd grade. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions. So, does that make sense? Anything to the left of the decimal is a whole number. Anything to the right of your decimal is the THs. And it doesn't start with oneths, it starts with tenths. Okay, so this right here is in this number 23.6. The digit blank is in the tens place. So what digit do you think is in the tens place? The 6, the 3, or the 2?
That is the 2.
It is the 2. What digit is the 4? What is the value of the digit? What is the place that it's in?
The 4's in the thousands.
Tenths. Here's our decimals. Okay, so they're asking what the value of it is. That means it's in the tenths, but we already know this is the value of it. Because remember we said anything in the tenths digit has a numerator of 4 because that's the number. And because it's the first digit after the decimal, it's tenths. So as a decimal, it's 0.4. I know it doesn't make sense, but keep watching the video and it will.